Welcome, GH fans! Brace for shocking twists, explosive secrets, and unforgettable General Hospital drama. There is something about these high-stakes confrontations that keeps bringing me back to Port Charles day after day. I remember when Sonny first arrived on the scene as a young man full of fire and ambition. Now, watching him navigate these dangerous waters in his later years, I feel a deep sense of both nostalgia and worry for him. This latest plot involving Sidwell feels different from the usual mob rivalries we have seen before. It carries a heavier, more personal weight that makes my heart race every time a new episode airs. What strikes me most right now is how cleverly Sidwell is using Justine to set his trap for Sonny. I have always admired Justine's strength and intelligence, but in this situation she seems caught in the middle through no real fault of her own. Sidwell is clearly playing a long game, possibly faking messages from her to lure Sonny into a dangerous meeting. I have seen Sonny walk into ambushes before, but this one feels particularly insidious because it preys on the growing connection between Sonny and Justine. When Sonny told her he was ready for whatever came next, those words carried such a fateful tone. I could not help but think back to other moments in his life when he spoke with such confidence right before everything changed. It is almost as if the show is reminding us that no matter how experienced Sonny becomes, danger can still find him in the most unexpected ways. One thing I keep wondering about is whether Sidwell's plans go even deeper than just targeting Sonny. There is a real possibility he wants to eliminate the district attorney if he fears a court case might expose him, much like what happened with Judge Eva Haran. That kind of ruthless calculation makes Sidwell one of the most formidable opponents Sonny has faced in recent years. I have my own theory here, and it might differ from what the writers ultimately intend, but I believe Sidwell sees the entire power structure in Port Charles as something he needs to dismantle piece by piece. If he can remove key legal figures while also striking at Sonny, he would create chaos that benefits only him. Of course, I could be reading too much into it, but the clues are there if you have been paying close attention like I have. The moment when both Sonny and Justine realize the messages they received were not from each other is going to be so powerful. I can already picture their faces, confusion, turning quickly into suspicion, and then perhaps into a deeper understanding that they have both been played. Yet even in that realization, there might be another layer to the trap. This is what I love about General Hospital. The twists never stop coming. Just when you think the characters have figured it out, another complication arises. It keeps the story fresh and prevents it from feeling predictable, even after all these decades of watching. Then there is poor Ethan, caught up in his own troubles and unable to provide backup for Sonny. He is distracted by an old enemy and forced to run, which leaves Sonny more isolated than he has been in a long time. I have always had a soft spot for Ethan. His storylines often bring a different energy to the show, mixing adventure with personal struggle. Right now, his absence from Sonny's side adds real tension. Will he manage to resolve his own conflict in time to help? Or will his distraction lead to consequences that ripple through the entire group? These parallel storylines are masterfully woven together, making me eager to see how they eventually intersect. I can vividly imagine the scene when Sonny arrives at the meeting point. The moment he senses something is wrong, that heavy atmosphere descends like an emotional storm ready to break. The writing in these sequences is always so atmospheric. You feel the danger in the air even before any words are spoken. Sonny has walked into many tense situations over the years, but this one carries extra gravity because of his relationship with Justine. When Sidwell finally appears, filled with rage, and pulls out his gun while accusing Sonny of killing his son, the confrontation reaches its boiling point. I found myself holding my breath during similar scenes in the past, and I know I will do the same here. Sonny's quick thinking in that moment, revealing that his source pointed to Cullum as the real culprit, is classic Sonny. He has always been resourceful under pressure, using information as effectively as any weapon. It is one of the reasons I have remained such a loyal fan. He rarely panics, even when the odds seem stacked against him. Still, I wonder if this revelation will be enough to de-escalate the situation, or if it will only fuel Sidwell's anger further. My personal opinion is that Sidwell is too far gone in his vendetta to listen to reason. That makes the arrival of Justine even more critical. When Justine bursts onto the scene, possibly with a SWAT team she had positioned earlier, the chaos truly begins. I love how the show often gives its female characters these moments of bravery and decisiveness. Justine is proving herself to be far more than just a love interest in this storyline. She is an active participant trying to protect the man she cares about. The question on everyone's mind, of course, is whether Sonny can defend himself and keep Justine safe from this unhinged adversary. I believe he can, but not without cost. These kinds of confrontations rarely end cleanly in Port Charles. Someone always pays a price. And my hope is that the writers handle the outcome with the sensitivity and drama this story deserves. Looking at the bigger picture, this summer storyline feels like one of the strongest we have had in quite some time. It combines personal relationships, long-standing rivalries, and legal dangers into a compelling mix. I have my theories about who might not make it through this alive, and while I do not want to see beloved characters go, I understand that sometimes these exits serve the larger narrative. What matters most to me as a longtime viewer is that the emotional truth of each moment remains intact. General Hospital has always excelled at showing us the human cost of violence and revenge. I also appreciate how this plot explores themes of trust and deception. Sonny and Justine's growing bond is being tested in the harshest way possible. Will this experience bring them closer together or create cracks that are hard to repair? I lean toward the optimistic view that they will emerge stronger, but I know the show loves to surprise us. That uncertainty is part of what makes watching so addictive after all these years. As I sit here thinking about the upcoming episodes, I feel that familiar excitement building. The writers have set up so many intriguing possibilities. Will Ethan find his way back in time to make a difference? Can Sonny and Justine navigate the fallout from Sidwell's manipulations? And what role will other familiar faces play in the resolution? I have faith that the story will deliver satisfying payoffs while leaving room for new developments. That balance is something General Hospital has perfected over its long run. After all these years, I still find myself completely invested in the lives of these characters as if they were family. The news that Sidwell will meet his end and that Justine is the one who ultimately pulls the trigger feels like a major turning point in this intense summer storyline. It is not often we see a character like Justine forced into such a life-altering act, and I believe this moment will define her for seasons to come. What touches me most is how Sonny manages to save Justine from Sidwell's complete control just in time. I have always respected Sonny's protective nature, even when his methods have been questionable. In this case, his determination to reach her prevents a far worse outcome. He arrives amid the chaos, creating the crucial opening that allows Justine to act in self-defense. Watching a woman like Justine, who has shown such strength and compassion, be pushed to this extreme reminds me of other powerful female characters from the show's history who had to make impossible choices. It proves once again that Port Charles rarely lets anyone remain untouched by violence. The shooting of Sidwell does not simply end the immediate threat. It opens the door to an even deeper connection between Sonny and Justine. I can already sense a new bond forming between them, born from shared trauma and mutual rescue. They have been growing closer, but this event catapults their relationship into something more profound. I have my own thoughts on where this might lead. While some fans might worry it is moving too quickly, I see it as a natural progression. Two people who have faced death together often discover a level of trust and understanding that is hard to find elsewhere. Their new linkage feels earned rather than forced, and I am genuinely excited to watch it develop. Of course, this resolution brings its own set of fresh troubles. The aftermath of Sidwell's death will not be simple or clean. There will be questions from the authorities, potential legal complications, and emotional fallout that both Sonny and Justine must navigate. I suspect this new shock is only beginning to reveal itself. Perhaps there are witnesses, hidden evidence, or lingering allies of Sidwell who will seek revenge. General Hospital has always excelled at showing that victory comes with consequences, and this storyline seems poised to explore those consequences in rich detail. I keep thinking about the moment Justine fires the shot. The look on her face, the weight of what she has done, and Sonny's immediate instinct to shield her afterward. It creates such a powerful image. As a longtime viewer, I appreciate when the show allows characters to grow through darkness, rather than simply returning to the status quo. Justine killing Sidwell proves her resilience, while also showing her vulnerability. She will need Sonny's support in the coming weeks, and I believe he will be there for her in ways that strengthen their emerging relationship. This new connection between them also sets up fascinating possibilities for future drama. Will their closeness create jealousy among other characters? Could it affect Sonny's relationships with his children or business associates? I have a personal theory that this bond might face an early test when the full details of Sidwell's death come to light. Maybe someone questions whether it was truly self-defense, or perhaps new information about Sidwell's plan surfaces that complicates everything. These potential shocks keep me eagerly anticipating each new episode. Ethan's situation adds another layer to the tension. While he is distracted by his own battles, his absence forces Sonny and Justine to rely more completely on each other. It is interesting how the writers weave these separate struggles together. I wonder if Ethan will return with his own revelations that impact the main conflict. Nothing in Port Charles happens in isolation, and that interconnectedness is one of the reasons I have stayed loyal to the show for so long. Looking back at Sonny's earlier words to Justine about being ready, they now carry even greater significance. He was preparing for danger, but neither of them could have predicted this exact outcome. The fact that Sonny saves her right before she is forced to take lethal action creates a powerful narrative symmetry. It shows how their fates are becoming intertwined. I find myself rooting for them not just as fans of action and romance, but as someone who believes in second chances and healing after trauma. The emotional depth in these upcoming scenes is what I love most. We will see Justine grappling with guilt, Sonny offering quiet strength, and both of them discovering new aspects of their partnership. It feels fresh and authentic. After years of watching mob wars and romantic entanglements, this particular chapter stands out because it balances high drama with genuine human emotion.